Dear friends, Shalom Ubracha. In a couple of nights, we will be sitting around the table, Be'ezrat Hashem, with all our families and go through the Seder of Pesach, rich with rituals and purpose in our expression to HaKadosh Baruch Hu of thanksgiving for saving us from Mitzrayim and redeeming us, taking us into a nation. Many ways of expression for that night, all in an interactive description of all the events, to the point where one must reach the level of feeling that he himself or she herself went out of Mitzrayim that same night. We know all the rituals that have to be done on that night, and we certainly know many of the reasons for them. There is, however, a basket of gifts that we walk away with that night that stays with us for the entire year. It's a long list of all the gains of the night, but just to give you some samples of the effect of the Haggadah and the Seder of Pesach on our lives. First of all, when we speak about the matzah, we speak about Na'ama de Mehemnuta. The matzah is called bread of faith. At times it's called Na'ama de Asvata, bread of healing. And indeed, on that night, we walk out energized by a new faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we come back vigorous in healing, strong, where the person is a changed person. That's part of the blessing of the night. The effects of the night spread all the way to Rosh Hashanah. And they tell us that when the Pasuk says, Hayom atem yotzim bechodesh ha'aviv, today you go out in the month of the spring, and that's a reference to leaving Mitzrayim, the redemption. The Chachamim tell us that whenever we see the word Hayom, today, it's a reference to Rosh Hashanah. So they interpret this pasuk beyond its simple meaning, and they tell us that Hayom, the day of Rosh Hashanah, Atem Yotzim, you will go out free of any guilt. You will go out inscribed in the book of life. Why? Bechodesh ha'aviv, because of the mitzvot of the Chodesh ha'aviv, because of the mitzvot that come on Pesach. It has an effect in our judgment on Rosh Hashanah, and we go with a favorable judgment on that day. A gift from the night of Pesach. Our matzah is called Lechem Oni, the bread of affliction, bread of the poor. But the Chachamim tell us that they also mean with Lechem Oni, Lechem she'onim alav devarim arbe, a bread that we answer many words to it, which means it's the bread that we sit around and we have a Haggadah being said. But they tell us it's deeper than that. Onim alav devarim arbe, the word onim means to answer, when in essence what we mean is to state, to speak. Why to answer? Because on that night in heaven, Onim Devarim Arbe, a person prays to HaKadosh Baruch Hu and HaKadosh Baruch Hu answers many requests that the person has. That's one of the biggest gains that we walk out on the Seder of Pesach, knowing that we have an opportunity to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu what we need, and on Him, and they answer us from heaven. Devarim harbe, a lot of what we ask for and what we need. As Be'ezrat Hashem, as we sit around the table, let's be rich with these gifts. Let's take them, let's do the right Seder. Let's put ourselves into it in the most spiritual way possible. And we will walk out being well endowed in a greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu to us. And Be'ezrat Hashem, the statement that we make in the Beracha at the end of the Hallel on the night of Pesach in the Agadah be fulfilled with us, and we should be Semechim Bebinyan Irach, happy with the building of your city, of Yerushalayim, Pesasim Ba'avodatach, and joyful in your service, V'nochal sham min hazevachim u'min hapesachim, and we shall be zocheh to eat there in Yerushalayim Ir HaKodesh, in the Beit HaMikdash, the zevachim and pesachim, the korbanot of the days of Pesach and the night of Pesach, and that should be coming soon, Be'ezrat Hashem, בביאת משיח צדקנו במהרה בימינו אמן. תזכו לשנים רבות, נעימות וטובות.